Throughout my career as an attorney, I fought for the underdogs. I asked for improvements of living conditions. I asked to have juvenile prisoners separated from adult prisoners. I wrote the Volz Public Defender Bill asking for a system of lawyers that would specifically defend people in court who cannot afford a defense lawyer. This system was eventually adopted in 30 states.
In 1906, I moved my law offices to Los Angeles. There, I became the first female deputy district attorney in the United States. In addition to my love of law, I was committed to the women's suffrage movement. I wrote the Women's Vote Amendment for the California Constitution in 1911. Whenever I was listed as a speaker, great crowds of people would come to listen. After the suffrage amendment passed in California, I worked hard to get women registered to vote and to be active in government. In 1930, when I was 81 years old, I was the first woman to run for governor of California. I entered the Republican primary and received a lot of votes, but not enough to win.
At the end of my long career as a lawyer
A public speaker,
and a suffrage activist, I look back and hope that my ancestor, Daniel Boone, would have been proud of my accomplishments. I did become a pioneer after all, a pioneer for women's rights. Woman's right is woman's duty, for our share in life we call. Our will is not weakened and our power is not small. We are half of every nation, we are mothers of them all. In wisdom marching